right, so Howard won the opening. He said he'd have more applause. And I told him, why not? It's Boulder after all. Thank you, Juliet, and thank you, Chancellor. I'm glad to be here again tonight with my debating partner, my sparring partner, Governor Dean. You know, about a year and a few months ago, we had an historic election in America. Something that every American, regardless of your political philosophy or party identification, can be enormously proud of. I was in Memphis, Tennessee recently at Rhodes College, and someone in the student body, a young man, asked me, why did you call it a historic election? I said, because less than several miles away from here, a lone gunman took the life of Martin Luther King, who had the courage to stand up for the right of African Americans in the South to vote. And in our lifetimes, we've seen the election of an African American president of the United States. And it says something great about our country that we made a journey like that, a difficult and painful journey, in such a short period of time. But President Obama won the election by being a relentless centrist during the campaign. He said famously that he would scrub the budget line by line and end government programs that did not work. He decried the deficits of the Bush years, which had run 3% of the GDP. And he said in a television ad that you probably saw endlessly here in Colorado that, quote, government-run health care, end quote, is, end quote, extreme, end quote. But since he's come into office, we've seen a much different president than he allegedly during the campaign. Rather than scrubbing the budget line by line, we have seen an orgy of spending. He has increased in less than 1 year the discretionary domestic spending budget of the United States by 25%, $100 billion added to the budget in 1 year. On top of that, we have a $787 billion stimulus bill and a $30 billion S-chip bill. In fact, we have seen so much spending that the share of the GDP taken by the federal government has risen from the historic 18 to 20% that we've seen since World War II to nearly 25% of GDP in 1 year. It's been accompanied by a river of debt that was planned. The president's budget plan approved in February of last year called for doubling the size of the national debt in 5 years and nearly tripling it in 10 by taking those deficits, which had run a manageable 3% of GDP under George W. Bush, to 5.1% over the next 10 years. And then we had the stimulus bill, which was one of the pieces of spending that added to the deficit. We were told, spend $787 billion. And we'll see unemployment top out at 8%. We'll see 3,650,000 new jobs, the president said. And not only that, but the money will go out right away. And instead, unemployment topped over 10%. Recovery.org, the government's own mechanism to track, quote, jobs that have been created or saved, says that 595,000 jobs have been saved or created, and that included every job that received money from the stimulus, even if it was not the creation of a new job, but a pay raise for somebody receiving money from the rest of the government already.